This episode of the show is brought to you by my friends at Uber. Pay your bills faster or save for your retirement. Make some extra money driving with Uber. Learn more at uber.com/drive now. That's Uber, UBER.com/drive now. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Thank you for joining us, America. We are glad you are here. Open phones this hour. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Joining me this half hour, our Ramsey personality for retirement, Chris Hogan, is with me, the author of the #1 best-selling book, Retire Inspired. Welcome back, Chris.
Well, thank you, sir. It's good to be with you again.
We are going to have a sold-out SMART conference this coming Saturday in Phoenix, no, San Antonio, Texas. Got to remember what city I'm in. My gosh, my brain's scrambled. And then, of course, the following weekend, we have a sold-out SMART conference that you'll be speaking in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. And then the following weekend, May the 6th, you'll be back in San Antonio for a Retired Inspired event.
Yes, sir. We're going to come back and really dig deep, Dave. So for people that are out there, if they're wondering, how in the world are we going to get prepared for our future, or you're concerned about mom and dad or even your grandparents, come out and join us. We're going to have fun in San Antonio, going to walk you through the process and dig into the book and go to another level.
So the whole thing about how to retire with dignity, the whole process, it is possible, isn't it?
It is, Dave. And a lot of people out there, they feel like it's too late for them. They've had life going on. They've had some things happening. I want people to know that it's not too late. You still have an opportunity, but what we don't want to do is waste any more time. You've got to get plugged in on a plan, and I'm going to show you how to do it.
And you're not too early.
That's right, for these millennials. Now, we've got a lot of them out there in the lobby right now, Dave, and if I can get more young people to wake up and really understand the power of their 401k, the opportunity of once you get started early and you leave that money alone, it puts you in a better position to be a millionaire later.
Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. I still remember where I was sitting the first time I really grasped compound interest and what it would mean to me.
Yes.
I mean, I grasped it as a math concept probably in high school. I grasped it as a full financial concept even in college. But I remember the first time I ever thought, wait a minute, that means I need to invest, and that all of that explosion, that mathematical exponential progression could happen for my family. I remember where I was sitting.
Do you really?
That's powerful, isn't it?
It is. When you start to understand that not only that your money grows, but the interest your money grows is growing interest. And you start to see that and you go, oh, time and compound interest are two of my best friends financially if I'm using them the right way.
If you're using them.
At all, right.
Yeah, you're either a spectator and you're one of those broke people, or you're getting ready to be wealthy because you're on your way.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, Dave, that when my wife and I first heard you, and this is back in, my goodness, 2000. And it was one of those things I went back and I was looking to figure out where's our money going, right? We were both working, making good money. I realized I was making other people wealthy. I was contributing to them doing well. And it was one of those things, that was the wake-up call that, wait a minute, I need to do this for myself and my family, not them.
You know, one of the things that keeps people from investing is they are intimidated by financial people. Man, financial people are trained to use $10 words for a $2 concept. There's really not that much to this idea of becoming wealthy and using investments to do it, but sometimes investment professionals, in quotes, really spend half their life on their vocabulary instead of actually just teaching people how to do stuff. If you are going to sit down with a financial advisor, what should you bring to your first meeting?
I'm going to be straight honest with people. The first thing you should bring is yourself. You don't necessarily have to dig out a whole lot of paperwork. If you know where your 401k statement is, you can bring it, but bring you. And I say that, Dave, because oftentimes people will, they will scare themselves out of even taking action because they want to make excuses. I've got to find all these paperwork. No, go sit down with them, talk with them about what it is you're doing and what it is you want to accomplish, and then listen to their feedback. And
interview them.
Absolutely.
And what do you look for when you're picking out a good investment advisor?
Well, I think it goes back to, Dave, one of the things you've been saying for many years, the heart of a teacher. I want to know that I'm dealing with someone that's trying to help me win, not just sell me some stuff. And we all know, we've all encountered slimy before. We know what that feels like. Someone that's just trying to sell you some stuff. But when you sit down with someone that truly cares about you and your family and your dreams, that's when you know you're looking to find a teammate to join your team to help you reach your goals.
Yeah. There's a distinct difference in the spirit of somebody who's selling or somebody's serving. And somebody's teaching or somebody's arm twisting. And for those of you that are married, guys, listen to me, take your wife, because your wife, if you'll empower her to go, I don't trust that guy. I mean, he's okay, but it just feels a little slimy. And she'll sense that sometimes more than a guy will, because guys are like, oh yeah, it's all about the brain, and but the wife will approach the thing with the heart too. And sometimes you can get real insight into whether you've got somebody that has the heart of a teacher, somebody's got the right servant spirit instead of a salesman's spirit, and that's all I'm looking for. Even if I'm looking for legal advice, if I'm looking for tax advice, I get somebody to sit down with me. I'm looking for advice. I'm not looking for someone to take over my life or talk down to me. I don't have time for all that. And by the way, you work for me. You're on my payroll, so you should act like that when you're talking to me. And I don't mean I'm a jerk about it or anything, but I've had these attorneys act like I'm paying them $400 an hour, and they act like I freaking work for them.
Yeah,
I had to fire one of them one time for that. I was just like, dude, you're really confused.
Well, and that's a big deal too. As I talk to NFL guys and musicians and entertainers as well, I tell them that one phrase, Dave. You're looking to hire somebody that is working for you. They're your employee. And too often times people will go in and meet with an investment person or tax person and try to hand it to them and tell them just to handle it. And you can't hand that off. The obligation stays with you.
Yeah. I mean, when you're broke and you're 72 and all you have to tell is a story about the guy that ripped you off, that's your fault. Yeah, you got involved with a crook, but it's also your fault because you didn't mind the store. You didn't watch what was going on. You stood there and let it happen. Yeah. Yeah. And it's really sad. I mean, I've had stuff like that happen to me, and it was my fault. I mean, when I do stuff like this, it's my fault. I have to take control of the variables I can take control of, and that's what we say. That's why we say you're looking for the heart of a teacher. And when we're lining up the people at SmartVestor to be our SmartVestor pros, that's one of the ways we look at them. We just go, hey, has this gal got that kind of a spirit to serve rather than a spirit to sell? Yeah. And am I going to learn something every time I'm with them, or am I going to come away going, I really wonder if I just did the right thing? If you're wondering if you did the right thing, you just did the wrong thing. You don't need to wonder.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned, too, that if you are married, I want to encourage you to make sure you and your spouse attend this meeting. It's not something that you want to put on just one spouse just because they may enjoy the numbers a little bit more. This is a family decision. So husbands and wives, take the time, sit down with that investment professional, talk with them, and then you all jointly as a family can decide, is this someone we want to work with or not?
Chris Hogan joins me this half hour. One more segment. He's here. He's the author of the #1 bestseller, Retire Inspired. I'm going to give you one as a gift if you have a question for Chris in this next segment. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Retire Inspired with Chris Hogan. We'll be right back on The Dave Ramsey Show. Scott in Connecticut wants to know if he should get a second job to pay down his debt. Well, Scott, absolutely. In fact, if I were you, I'd check out Uber. Every time I ride with Uber, their partners tell me how much they love the flexibility and freedom that driving with Uber brings, and they like the money. So if you're like Scott and you want to attack your debt, or you just want some extra money to invest or go on a great vacation, get started with Uber today. Go to uber.com/drive now. uber.com/drive now. Hogan joins me this half hour in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. We've got Lipscomb Academy hanging out with us. They are going through the Foundations in Personal Finance class that we have in about 35% of the high schools in America. And it's Financial Literacy Month, so we've had different groups of high schoolers coming through the building and joining us. I just got to have my picture made with them a few minutes ago. Lipscomb is a great local school here around Nashville. And Sam is with us with a question. Hey, Sam, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What grade are you in, sir?
I'm a senior.
A senior in high school?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And your question for Chris and I?
Yes, sir. We're just curious of all the principles that you teach and encourage in your classes with your financial status and lifestyle today. Do you still use those principles, or which ones do you find most important?
I think I still use them all. The principles that we teach are stay out of debt. I don't borrow money. Live on a plan. We still do that. Invest and save for various different things, and I still do that. A lot of that. Be generous. We do a lot of that. Let me think. What else is there? The different thing. We don't buy whole life insurance. We didn't start doing that. We don't. We do tell people that once you have $1 million net worth, it's okay to buy a new car. And so I've got some nice cars now, since I've got several millions in my net worth. But that's not inconsistent with what we teach. It's exactly what we teach. To live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. I don't know, Chris. Do you know a lot about my stuff? Is there anything I don't do?
No, not at all.
Sharon still carries an envelope system in her purse.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Still?
She's got Rachel's new envelope system, yeah. She likes it. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where, Dave, you and I were talking. You want to stay consistent and stay with what gets you success. There's no reason to abandon and forget what you know. So my friend out there who's about to enter into the workforce, those principles are lifelong, right? It's a lifestyle. And if you can keep those on the front of your mind, you won't fall for the stupid that's out there waiting for you, right? You want to make sure you have success. So definitely follow those and make those a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, Sam, I still don't have a credit card. The stuff that, not doing that stuff brought me so much pain. When I was young, and I don't want to go back to the pain. I like my life, and why would I want to screw it up, kind of thing. So, I think the principles are still there. They take different shapes in terms of how you execute them when there's more zeros involved, and there's more sophistication in some of the investments and some of that kind of stuff. But the primary core things that we talk about, I still do all of them. Hey, nice question. Very, very well thought out. Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right, open phones this hour. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Chris Hogan is with us, the author of the #1 best-selling book, Retire Inspired. And if you have a question for Chris, we've got a copy of that book for you if you can get in during this segment. Andy's with us in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Andy. How are you?
I'm great, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Your question for Chris Hogan.
I'm in the military, and I'm eligible to retire in January. And I have a job offer matching my current pay. But when I run the math with my tax benefit from the military, it's only going to be a net gain of $400 per month. But if I stay 3 more years, my pension will go up $3,600 a year for the next 3 years. And I just wanted to know which one would be the more wise option to take.
Okay. Well, Andy, first and foremost, I want to thank you for your service to our country, my friend. How long have you been in the military?
25 years, but it'll be 20 active.
Okay, fantastic. Well, you are what I call, you're at a crossroads right now, and it's a matter of running some numbers. I think there is a financial aspect to that, but there's also kind of a life aspect to it. I would get the answer in running the numbers. I would find a SmartVestor Pro in your area so you can look at this and start to understand, okay, if you were to stay 4 to 5 more years, you know that it's going to add another $3,600 a year versus not doing that. And so I think run the numbers on that, look at how your TSP is invested, understand what your pension's going to be, but then also if you were to leave now and you were to get out in the open market and work and invest in a 401k, now you'd get some matching funds potentially to go along with your TSP. So you have a lot of options. It's time to sit down and look at those and understand it financially.
So how old are you?
I'm 42 right now.
Okay. And what's the job offer? What area of the country? I mean, what field would you be going into?
A Homeland Defense contract.
Okay, so similar field then.
Yes, sir.
And is there a substantial difference in terms of like what makes you smile when you get up in the morning and you're heading to one place versus heading to another?
It would be virtually doing the same job.
Yeah, but you'll be doing it with different people.
It's actually in the same building.
Wow. Okay, and so there's not many variables here, so it is a math thing then, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so, because it's not like I'm living the dream one way and I'm living the nightmare the other way. It's pretty much the same dream. So just whichever way the math rolls out, I would agree with Chris on that then. Now, one more time, if you take the defense contract deal, what is the pay again?
It's $96,000. It's the same as my pay now. It's just all taxable. So if you add that with
why is yours not taxable now?
Part of our military, our housing allowance and our subsidy allowance is tax-free. So when I ran the numbers on when it was all taxable, it was just a net increase of $400 a month.
Okay. All right. So you make a little more money. You're not in the military anymore. You're going to be getting your 20-year retirement on top of that.
Yes, sir.
Which you don't get if you stay in the military yet until you do retire, right? Yes. So your income goes up substantially if you take the job.
Yes, sir, it goes up. It's just the net it's not as much as I thought. I thought it would be $1,200 a month more bring home. And when
including the military retirement?
Yes, sir. Including
the military retirement, it's only a $400 increase.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the pay is not as good then. Even though not counting taxes, the pay is not as good because there's no way that tax hits you that hard. Because
I might have got a bad calculator online, but I know how much I bring home now, and then I plugged in if I made the combined income, and it showed my income going from $8,000 a month bring home to $8,400 a month bring home.
Okay, yeah, SmartVestor Pro might be the place to go, but a Tax Pro might be better. You might want to sit down with a tax person and calculate that out. Make sure you're doing your after-tax assessment correctly. I can't tell from what you're doing because it doesn't make sense to me because your military retirement should be considerable chunk of $95,000 on top of $95,000 at the new job minus the extra taxes, but the entire thing is not taxable. I mean, the entire thing is taxable the other way now, minus just the portion of housing, and that's not half of it even. So that the numbers you give me, that it's not. I'm just doing this in my head, but it doesn't feel right. So I want you to check your Tax Pro, sit down with them, and hold on. We'll have Kelly pick up, and we'll get you a copy of the Retire Inspired book for you. And I echo Chris's sentiment. Thank you for your 20 years of service to your country, sir. We appreciate you. Chris, the Retire Inspired podcast has hit a new milestone.
Yes, sir, we did, Dave. We crossed the 2 million mark. 2 million downloads, which is amazing, even as we come up here on a year of doing that. So we're having a lot of fun on there, Dave. We are doing halftime speeches where people send in speeches that they want me to give them with my little petite voice. We're answering questions. We do some poetry. We have a lot of fun. We do some poetry, Dave.
You do poetry.
I do poetry. We have fun, but it's all based around retirement and dreams. Having a blast.
I need to subscribe to this
yes,
just to hear Hogan do poetry.
Absolutely. Give me your phone. I'll click on it. Because all you can do, you can find us in iTunes. Just look for Retire Inspired or any place that podcasts are played.
And he'll be speaking May the 6th in San Antonio at a Retire Inspired event. And the next 2 weekends at the Smart Conferences with us as well. ChrisHogan360.com if you want to know more about retirement or if you want to calculate what your need is and how it matches your dream, the Retire Inspired Quotient, the RIQ, is a free tool at ChrisHogan360.com as well. Chris, thanks for dropping by.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Time is a valuable resource, and if you're planning an event, our friends at Gig Salad can help you save a ton of it. Gig Salad makes it easy for you to hire great talent. They offer simple online booking for performers and services of all types, from cover bands to caterers, face painters to photographers, and magicians to mariachis. If you want to save time while planning an awesome event, I recommend gigsalad.com. To book talent for your next party, wedding, or event, go to gigsalad.com today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Rob and Mandi are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Welcome, welcome. Where y'all from?
New Hampshire.
All right. Well, good to have you all the way to Nashville.
Thank you.
And here to do your debt-free scream.
Yes.
Yes.
Very cool. How much have you paid off?
A total of $332,000 in 6 years.
Way to go. Excellent. Excellent. And your range of income during that time?
Over the first 5 years, it ranged from $135,000 to $150,000. This last year, it bumped up to $223,000.
Wow. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
And now I stay at home with our kids, but before that, I worked in the office as well.
Okay, very good. So over 6 years, $332,000. Was that your house and everything?
We wish.
Oh, that was the chiropractic school.
That was $167,000 in Sallie Mae. It was $140,000 in business debt, and it was $25,000 on a new car.
Wow. Wow. So you were overwhelmed,
Yes.
to say the least. Yes. I mean, the waves were just crashing in on you. Yeah. And so 6 years ago, was that when you got out of chiropractic school and bought your business, or what?
I'd like to say yes, but no.
Okay. What happened then that got you started on all this?
6 years ago, I was divorced, and I had started paying off debt. Mm-hmm. So our story takes place in two parts. Mm-hmm. For the first 3 years, it was just me, and I was paying off some student loans, some business, and some car. And that total was $115,000 between 2011 and 2013. Mm-hmm. And then we met, and we got married in May of 2014. We cash flowed our wedding. Mm-hmm. And then the next 3 years took place. We did 2 years, 2014 to 2016, where we paid off $77,000 in debt, and then last year, in 13 months, we paid off $140,000 in debt.
Oh, yeah, that was a big year.
Yes,
wow.
It was.
Wow. So what got you started on this, Rob, back when you were single?
I remember going by a church billboard, and it talked about financial peace. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty far away from that at the time.
Yeah, you're pretty stressed out, huh?
Yeah.
Still remember that feeling. Yeah. Yeah, it stayed with you. 6 years later, it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what happened then? You saw the billboard.
I took the course.
Oh, you went?
I did.
Went. Okay.
Yep. And then I brought it to my church.
But that was not a church you attended normally?
No.
Okay,
no.
You just saw that they had a class.
Yep.
Financial peace, two words don't go together. My life doesn't feel like that. So here we go. You jump in there and get in the course.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So, and brought it to my church that I was attending then, and led it there, and I've taken it again, and I've led it. We led it last year in September.
Thank you. Wow.
So, and that helped us just stay motivated and.
Well, as a coordinator, your class is going to be watching this YouTube video going crazy, dude.
Exactly.
I love it. This is celebrating. Yeah. Very cool. Showing them it can be done. $332,000. So that's a lot. So when people find out that you did this partially when you're single, partially after you got married, cash flowed a wedding, I mean, you've been living life while this is going on, but you still knocked it out. And they ask you that question, yeah, but, I mean, how did you pay off $330,000? What do you tell them the secret is to getting out of debt?
Well, for us, we had been working on it in little bits, but just over the last year, it was just staying focused. We just decided to just really intensely focus on it and just see what we could do. And, I really believe that God provided in a big way. Our income went up as we started paying off more and more. And it was just kind of like, you can't outdo God. So that's just kind of, it was amazing to see.
In the last year, you guys stepped on it. I mean, you stepped on it hard.
We did.
You went crazy.
Yep. Having a baby will do that to you.
Oh, okay. A little motivation.
Yep.
What's motivation's name?
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Yep.
Okay. And how many children do you all have?
We've got two.
Isaiah and who?
Adlai.
Okay. Are they with you?
They are.
All right. Very cool. Well, congratulations. How does it feel now that you're free?
It feels great. It is still pretty surreal. We finished paying off, I think we paid $20,000 this month on the business debt, so we could be here today. So
still hasn't fully sunk in,
still kind of
but
settling in.
There was that moment when we went and made the last payment and took the last check there, where it was just a big weight off our shoulders, and that security for me, that was a big deal.
Yeah, you're driving away from the bank going, feel different.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, Rob, take me back there, because I had those same feelings. I remember being completely crushed, overwhelmed under the weight of the debt and under the weight of the screw-ups and everything else. And you go from being just terrified to a little glimmer of hope. You remember that? The first time you thought, wait a minute, I think maybe I can do this. Talk about that.
Well, when I was still single, I got done with the car. I got done with all the credit cards. I got done with the business debt that I had taken on to that point. And I had hope, and then finally it was the student loan. And then I lost my hope for a period of time. I think I had $140,000. And it just it took some time to get back to where we were going to totally focus on it. We went to the SMART conference in Denver in October of 2015, and we got motivated then, and we've had a couple incidents of Murphy moving in. We were out of our home for 2 or 3 months with a hot water pipe that burst and took out 3 levels of the home and stuff like that. So that kind of lost motivation there.
Well, the bottom line is this is not easy.
No, it's not.
But it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Well, good job, you two. Very
Thank
well
you.
done. All right, are the kiddos going to join you for the debt-free scream?
Yes, they are.
Very cool. Well, we've got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, #1 bestseller, Retire Inspired. And that's the next chapter in your story, is to become millionaires. And you'll do that quickly with this income. And, of course, be outrageously generous along the way. So we want to hear from you both ways.
Definitely.
So congratulations, you two. Very proud of you. Beautiful family. You got to be proud of what God's done for you. This is good.
Thank you.
Very cool. Rob and Mandi, Adlai and Isaiah, $332,000 paid off over 6 years, making $135 all the way up to a $223. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. That is how it's done right there. Doesn't get any better. Well, this is book launch week for Christy Wright's Book Business Boutique. She and I will be doing a one-day business boutique event in San Antonio tomorrow. An all-day business boutique event, and equipping women, a woman's guide for making money doing what she loves. If you would like to watch that event on Christy's Facebook, official Christy Wright Facebook, live stream for the first couple of hours, free tomorrow. You can do that. You can watch the whole thing on my YouTube channel, the Dave Ramsey Show channel. That's pretty cool. Smart Conference on Saturday, completely sold out. Business boutique event, book signing tonight in Nashville, the factory in Franklin, 6 o'clock. Come out for that. Rachel Cruz will be signing books at Barnes & Noble on La Cantera Parkway, 6 p.m. in San Antonio tomorrow night, Friday night, April the 21st. The Graduate Survival Guide, Love Your Life Not Theirs, Smart Money, Smart Kids, Barnes & Noble on Lock and Terra Parkway, 6 p.m. Friday night, Rachel Cruz. Next up on the Dave Ramsey Show, Robert is in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Robert. How are you?
On the way to better than I deserve, Dave.
I hear you. How can I help, sir?
Well, first I'd like to say we just got home from Smart Money and Business Boutique this weekend. Thank you for the inspiration.
Oh, thanks. You came down to Atlanta, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes,
cool.
Sir.
Very cool.
Well, in baby step 2, we paid off $37,000 of $62,000 in debt in the last 5 months.
Way to go.
My wife is an owner in a 300-year-old family farm. Her personal value of her ownership is $1.8 million.
Goodness.
And the farm itself and the way it's being run is starting to become divisive in my wife's relationship with her father. She doesn't agree with some of the things he's doing and how it's working. So until the way home, we've never considered this. We just kind of were going to do it on our own. But it's her money, and I would kind of like to know, should we sell some or all of her ownership and become debt-free, including the house, start our business, and jumpstart our future?
Wow. 300 years it's been in the family.
Yes, sir.
How many brothers and sisters has she got?
She's got one sister. They are polar opposites. That's part of the divisiveness. One's a leader and one's a go-getter.
I think we know which way that. So here's the question, just from a nostalgic standpoint or a heart standpoint, who's going to keep this family farm in the family if you all sell out?
Well, her dad and mother live there. Her sister and my brother-in-law live there. There's 2 more cousins that also own percentages. It'll keep moving. That's part of our questions. Really, we could sell 3% of her 13% ownership and accomplish everything we want to, and still maintain 10% ownership to pass down to our boys. Or we could take complete ownership and by everything you teach me, probably take care of our boys better in the long run.
Sell the whole thing out? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who would buy it?
It has to be sold to other owners. It's kind of a complicated business setup, but there are avenues to sell it. She could possibly sell her ownership back to her father.
And he would buy it?
Stands to reason. Yes, sir. From other things we've done in the past, there have been opportunities to say that it could very well happen. Yes, sir.
And you think he's got the ability to buy the whole thing out, or just the 3%?
I think depending on how bad he wanted to do it, he could do either one.
Okay. But she doesn't have any way to force it. If no family member wants to buy it, she's just stuck with it.
Yes.
Okay. Does it pay out? Is it making a profit? Is it paying you all annually?
Traditionally, it's paid a distribution. That's gone away. The math has been figured away so that could go away. So at this point, the farm is really no benefit to anyone who doesn't live and work there financially.
Okay. All right. And so you think you could get 500? Well, I mean, obviously you're pretty disgusted with it, okay? And and she must be as well, to a degree. I'm just trying to think through the emotional parts of this, the family parts of this as well. From an investment perspective, it's $1.8 million that's not paying you a return. It's likely not going up dramatically in value. Most agricultural land doesn't. It goes up, but again, over time. But it's more gradual than other types of real estate in general. And so, if you could get $1.8 million out of it in cash and walk away on an investment that's not paying out and not going up much, you would do that in a heartbeat, right? And so the answer from a pure math standpoint is sell out if you can. If somebody will hand you $1.8 million, you walk away and go do investing and be debt free and start your business and all the things that $2 million will allow you to do. I would do all of that. The thing that's bothering me about what I hear in between the words and the sentences is that when you do that, it's probably going to end her relationship with her family.
Actually, it isn't stressful to anybody else because everybody else is benefiting. I think mine and her discussions say that, if we could subtract the business part out of any of our thought process and how it affects us and our children's futures, that maybe we could just be, a family.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to piss her dad off. In other words, irreparably.
I don't think so. I think she can articulate the way she feels, and my biggest concern is that if she doesn't do something like this, it's going to continue to bother her, and that will ruin her relationship with her father.
Okay, all right. I don't see any reason to keep it.
All right.
You've not given me a reason to keep it. You all need to ask yourself that question. Is there a reason to keep it? And, is there a situation where you'd feel good about it? And I don't hear anything in there. There's no part of this story that sounds fun, except that there's $2 million on the table. That's fun. But in terms of staying in the deal, there's no part of that sounds fun, as long as you can do it in such a way that she doesn't go in there wagging her finger and saying, you people all misbehave, you people all cheat me out of my cut because I don't work there and I'm not getting any dividends while the rest of you are, and so I want out. No, I would just go in there and say, I think it'd be better for everybody's relationship if y'all bought me out, and I think you'd have a more successful operation if you bought me out. I really don't want to be an owner anymore. Would you buy me out? And just keep it real clean and real simple without any accusations. Well, why you want out? Well, I've got some other things. I want to start a business, and this is just, it's not working for me. It's working good for y'all, and that's why I think you might want to own it. And just kind of turn it back on them, but don't get into a you people are a bunch of jerks, so I want out type of a discussion.
Yes, sir.
That's the thin ice of what I hear here in the background, and I've done a lot of these with families and sat and been the mediator or the moderator or both of some of these dramas with families over the years, and the biggest thing is everybody just wants to get in an argument, and I really would not get in an argument here. I would just make an offer and say, I've just got some other things I got to do. Well, why? Well, I think y'all will be better off. And, well, why? Well, I got some other things I want to do. Well, why? Well, I think y'all be better off. And I would just keep it real clean, real cut and dried, and that way you're honoring and see how we're doing from there. And that's the only way that this is going to make sense. So thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Well, we're celebrating Financial Literacy Month this month in the month of April. And we have the Teacher Appreciation Giveaway sponsored by Churchill Mortgage. We're giving incredible prizes for teachers. If you are a certified teacher, you need to go to daveramsey.com/challenge and register. No purchase is necessary. The challenge ends April 25th, so it's coming to an end. We are going to do a drawing of those that register. We've got incredible prizes, including some $1,000 gift cards. Another prize we're going to give away is a school assembly with Ramsey personality Anthony O'Neill. We're going to give a $10,000 Teacher's Lounge makeover to some teacher. And we're going to give away two $5,000 vacation getaways. So this is how you tell teachers that you know that you appreciate them. You tell them to go to daveramsey.com/teacher. The giveaway ends April the 30th. Make sure you get in there and get this done. So get it done this month. Brought to you by Churchill Mortgage. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey guys, it's Kelly Daniel, associate producer and phone screener for The Dave Ramsey Show. Hey, this hour of the show is over, but you can find our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. We're everywhere, for free, here to serve you.
Hey guys, this is Dave Ramsey reminding you to catch The Dave Ramsey Show live on our YouTube channel weekdays from